So Trump has officially gone all in on tariffs again, just like he did during his first presidency. But this time he's come back even harder. He's rolled out a blanket 10% tariff on all imports, affecting nearly every trading partner the U.S. has. That's the baseline. From there, he's added much steeper, country-specific tariffs depending on how he views the trade relationship with each nation. For example, China is getting hit the hardest with a 54% tariff. It's like the trade war all over again, just more intense. Trump's always argued that China has been unfair in trade, manipulating currency, dumping cheap goods, stealing IP, and this is his way of leveling the playing field. Right behind China is Vietnam, facing a 46% tariff, which is significant since a lot of U.S. companies shifted production there during the last trade war. Now Vietnam's not looking like such a safe haven anymore. Then there's the European Union, which Trump has slapped with a 20% tariff. He's long said European nations take advantage of the U.S. through unfair subsidies and taxes on American tech, so this is his reciprocal response. What's really interesting is that he's applying these tariffs not just based on trade deficits, but also based on how each country taxes or regulates U.S. businesses. Now, India is a unique case. Trump has applied a 26% tariff, which he's calling a discounted reciprocal tariff. Basically, he believes India has historically taxed U.S. goods at higher rates, and now he's just returning the favor. But in reality, it's a lot more complicated. India has been trying to balance trade ties with the U.S. while also pushing for Make in India reforms. With this tariff, India's exports to the U.S., especially in automobiles, pharmaceuticals, electronics, and jewelry, could take a serious hit. For context, India exported around $2.6 billion in vehicles to the U.S. in 2023, and those are now under threat due to the 25% auto tariff. Speaking of cars, that's another big one. Trump has slapped a flat 25% tariff on all foreign car imports. His reasoning? He wants to bring car manufacturing back to America and stop relying on countries like Japan, Germany, and even South Korea. But this move could backfire on U.S. consumers, since foreign cars, especially electric vehicles, are popular and often more affordable or technologically advanced than American-made ones. So why is he doing all this now? Trump says these tariffs will protect American jobs, bring back manufacturing, and give the U.S. leverage in trade negotiations. He also claims the revenue from these tariffs could help fund new tax cuts or pay down the national debt. But critics are saying something different. Economists are warning that this kind of across-the-board tariff could push up prices, disrupt supply chains, and trigger retaliation from other countries. In fact, China has already fired back, placing new restrictions on rare earth mineral exports, which are crucial for tech and defense. Markets aren't reacting well either. The stock market had its worst week since COVID, with investors getting nervous about rising costs and shrinking margins for companies that rely on global supply chains. If these tariffs stay in place, companies may be forced to raise prices, lay off workers, or move operations yet again, possibly to places like Mexico or even further abroad to avoid the heat. And here's something wild. These tariffs come at a time when inflation is already a concern. Adding import taxes means prices will likely rise even more, not great news for average consumers who are already stretched thin. In terms of politics, Trump's base is eating this up. They see him as defending American workers and standing up to foreign powers. But business leaders, economists, and even some conservative allies are cautious. They're saying these moves might be politically popular in the short term, but economically damaging in the long run. India, in particular, has to tread carefully. On one hand, they want to maintain good relations with the U.S., especially with rising tensions with China. On the other hand, these tariffs could harm India's exporters significantly. The Indian government has already responded by easing some duties on American goods, like Harley-Davidson bikes and U.S. almonds, possibly in an attempt to soften the blow and keep dialogue open. So yeah, Trump's new tariff play is bold, aggressive, and already shaking up the global economy. Whether it works out in his favor or causes more chaos, only time will tell.